What is going on, guys? It's Evan here from Evan Sports Corner, and I'm back with another video here on the channel. And today, I'll be talking about the Dallas Cowboys free agency, doing a Cowboys free agency recap from a Cowboys fan, and talking about some of the things that have happened, the moves that we've made, the players that we've lost. And the reason why I've held off this video for a few days was because I was waiting on a few things to happen. I was waiting for the Cowboys to get Jaron Kearse back, which they did. And I was also waiting to see if we would go after a guy like Zadarius Smith or Bobby Wagner, which it appears that we won't in the case of Bobby Wagner, and Zadarius Smith already signed. So I'll talk about that in this video. But before we hop in the video, remember to leave a like if you enjoy. Subscribe to the channel if you are new so you will not miss more sports content like this. And let's hop right in the video. So the Cowboys have had a very interesting free agency, and a lot of people would say that it's been a huge L. The Cowboys are not a team that typically goes out and signs guys. They're not typically a team that goes out and spends big money in free agency. The Cowboys are a team that makes their money through the draft, and they draft their guys and work on re-signing those players, but they usually aren't huge spenders. Amari Cooper got traded to the Cleveland Browns for like a 5th round pick. It wasn't a great trade on the surface level. He's going to go to Cleveland and be a #1 receiver. He's been our guy for the last few years. And you're looking at it and seeing that the Cowboys gave up a 1st round pick to acquire Cooper and then just sent him away for a 5th. The reason why the Cowboys made this trade was because of salary cap. Cooper is set to make $20 million next season. That'd be a huge hit against the Cowboys cap. And the Cowboys believe that they have guys who can step up into Cooper's role like CeeDee Lamb. And they also have Michael Gallup behind him. So they felt like this was a good enough trade. They were going to get Cooper to a new place. They weren't going to have to pay his huge salary. And they felt like this was a good enough trade. On the surface, it looked like the trade looks really bad. But it isn't the worst trade in the world, but it does stink to lose Cooper. We also did lose Cedric Wilson. We were hoping to re-sign Cedric Wilson, but he ends up going to Miami. And he's probably going to be in a similar role that he was in Dallas with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle over there, and even Devontae Parker. And now that leaves the Cowboys with CeeDee Lamb and now Michael Gallup. Michael Gallup signed on a pretty team-friendly contract. There are some sources that have different numbers for his contract, but it's a pretty team-friendly contract. I'd say Gallup is coming off that ACL injury. He should be ready to go by either the beginning of the season or around the beginning of the season. I feel like Michael Gallup should be a guy who can slide into that #2 and be great. Gallup is a phenomenal receiver, and he just needs to recover from that injury, and he'll be ready to go. So the Cowboys are putting a lot of trust into CeeDee Lamb and Gallup, and they also signed James Washington to be their 3rd receiver at the moment. So that's what the receiving core is looking like after free agency. And they could end up going after another guy as well. The Cowboys used the franchise tag on Dalton Schultz. He's Dak Prescott's safety blanket, and the passing game is good. Hopefully the Cowboys will get Schultz to a long-term contract. He's a great tight end in the passing game, and Dak loves throwing to Schultz. On the offensive line, the Cowboys had an overhaul there. They cut La'el Collins, but it shouldn't be the worst thing. It was just to save $10 million. Terrence Steele should be able to slide in there and be okay. La'el Collins hasn't been the most consistent in terms of availability with his suspensions and his injuries, so I think Terrence Steele can step in there and do a great job. They still got Zach Martin. They still got Tyron Smith. We'll see what they do with Biotic at center, and left guard's a huge hole because Connor Williams left for Miami. So that's the offense for free agency. The Cowboys cut some guys on the offense, guys like Cooper and Collins, some big names, but they did it for cap reasons so that they could try to go out and get other guys. On the defense side of the ball, the Cowboys had some things happen there as well. The Cowboys were able to get 2 starting safeties back, Malik Hooker, who had a fantastic second half of the season, and Jaron Kearse, who had a breakout season and developed as one of the leaders of this defense. I'm a big fan of that. Getting Kearse back is a W. They also got Leighton Vander Esch to be a linebacker. You know, he's on a 1-year deal. It should be nothing too much. He should be able to come in and be at least a stable play. He wasn't what he was back in 2018, but he's still a stable middle linebacker. Now we get to the defensive line where the Cowboys made some moves. They went out and signed Dante Fowler. They extended DeMarcus Lawrence. And then there was the whole Randy Gregory saga. Randy Gregory signed with the Cowboys. The Cowboys announced on social media. And then he flipped on us completely and went to Denver. And this was a complete shock to many fans, including myself. I mean, personally, I like Randy Gregory as a player. He's a great player. But you know, he's going to turn 30 in November. I feel like the contract the Cowboys gave him was pretty steep. 5 years, $70 million, and he's going to go to Denver and get paid, I'm pretty sure, the same amount. So the reason why Gregory flipped on the Cowboys was, and he's gone on a Twitter rant, said a bunch of stuff about the fan base and the team negotiating in bad faith and things like that. I think personally, if they're what we think that Gregory is referring to is Gregory's probably referring to the contract language, which is where They say that his contract could get voided if he violates the league's personal conduct policies and things like that, which, if you know the history of Randy Gregory, you know that Randy Gregory has done a lot of things to go against those policies. So with Randy Gregory right now, it should be very interesting to see what happens to him in Denver. He's 29, he's turning 30 in November. He just had a career high of 6 sacks, which is why I think it's a little steep price to pay for Denver, and it would have been a steep price for Dallas if we had gone through with that contract. Because Gregory, you know, we're really paying him off a projection that he's going to develop into a top-tier edge rusher in, you know, his late 20s and early 30s. It should be interesting to see what happens with Gregory in Denver. But yeah, it stinks to lose Randy Gregory. He's a great edge rusher. Now the Cowboys are going to try and see what they can do. Maybe they'll adjust in the draft. That's pretty much the stuff that happened with the Cowboys in terms of their team, the guys that they re-signed, and the guys that those little signings that they made. The thing that stinks, though, is the Cowboys cleared a bunch of cap space, and they're not using it. Now, I was hoping the Cowboys would go out and get a veteran. The Cowboys were in rumors for Von Miller and Zadarius Smith before they both eventually signed with the Bills and Vikings, which was unfortunate because Dallas really could have used one of them to fill in the void that Randy Gregory left behind. And the Cowboys are still in rumors for Bobby Wagner, but it appears that that whole situation is getting shut down. It appears unlikely the Cowboys are going to get Wagner, which stinks. So it does stink. I mean, the Cowboys, hopefully they can use their cap space on somebody because they cleared cap space for a reason. Hopefully they'll go out and get somebody, but Cowboys were able to retain some of their players, but they also had to cut talent to create cap space that they're not using, which is unfortunate. So we'll see what happens when the draft rolls around. Will the Cowboys go after a third receiver? Will they get some O-line help, some D-line help? We'll see what happens, but it should be interesting. But that is the free agency recap for the Dallas Cowboys, and that is going to do it for this video. And I hope you guys enjoyed. Remember to leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new so you will not miss more sports content like this. Have a great day, guys, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.